Good Shabbos. Good morning, everybody. Got put in the background there. Okay, perfect. So, new book, Shemos. Very exciting. Turn the page. Easy to find where the laning is. So, we gotta move on. Move on with the brothers. We have a bridge. We have Yosef, who is the bridge, really, the Avos, the bridge to the Bnei Yisrael, the children. It's a very interesting start, very interesting piece I think Siva Shalom talks about. It talks about yishuv hadaas, clarity of mind. I don't know the good word to say, it's hard to define it. Yishuv hadaas, clarity. Being able to sit for a minute, an hour, a few minutes, just to not worry about anything, to kind of sit in your thoughts, really try to set yourself. Try to do this at night, do this in the day, do chatzos, people at different times of the day, hisbodedus, spotless, whatever they want to do, hisbodedus, that's it. People sit in the forest for an hour, whatever they want to do. It's important to really be by yourself for X amount of time to kind of really gather your thoughts and kind of really calibrate your life, calibrate your day, calibrate yourself, what's important to you, what's not important to you, really. So the Indian of yishuv hadaas that the Siva Shalom picks up, and he's very emphatic in this piece that he talks about Yosef. He didn't know Yosef. Okay, well, that's Yosef. Fine. Simulav certain misim, helvas chakmalo, certain misim, mananosam, sivlosam, to get them to kind of do extra work, puts a lot of work on them. So we always learned this as, push-up shot mostly, things happening with Mitzrayim, they're going to get very strong, give them burdens, and then they'll be either too wiped out, too tired, too exhausted to think about reproducing, too tired to kind of join up with the nations. They won't have time to really rebel against us, join other nations. Okay, and we move on, talk Moshe, and we go on from there. And the story is there. Siva Shalom picks up on this, and he wants to say that it's not story time, like we keep saying every week. We keep saying this. This isn't story time. Every situation in the Torah is something meaningful for us, or else it wouldn't be in the Torah. It's not a storybook. So the Siva Shalom says this is really about us and our golus, and our gula, b'chlal, the Jewish people, also b'prati, also within ourselves, is that the Yetzer Hara wants us to not have yishuv hadaas. The Yetzer Hara wants to think of ways where we kind of forget about Hashkata Pratis, we forget about calibrating ourselves to Hashem. We want to kind of forget the message that we're supposed to be here to fix the world, change the world, fix ourselves, change ourselves. And to do this, there's sivlosam. There's extra burdens. And that burden could be anything, quote unquote, put your own burden, fill in your own space, whether it's kids, nothing against kids, whether it's work, whether it's taxes, whether it's thinking about other things, whatever it is that takes away from yishuv hadaas. And Yakmel Chadash is literally the Yetzer Hara. And the problem is, Yodas Yosef. This das, Yodas Yosef, this had this das, the das of Yosef. And the das, not just what Yosef and the people not know Yosef, but it's our das. Yodas Yosef didn't appreciate our das, doesn't want us to have das, and not just being smart, but really having yishuv hadaas, really having this awareness and the clarity, maybe that's the best word for it, clarity of das, clarity of mind, clarity of focus. So what do? Nisim, lisivlosam, to burden them. So it puts things on us. And extra burdens could be, like I said, children and driving stuff and all these things that kind of take us away from yishuv hadaas. And again, nothing wrong with kids. And you have to work, obviously. You got to go places, vacations, all that stuff. But when it takes away from yishuv hadaas, when we're constantly chasing these things, it takes away from our focus. There's a friend of mine who says that there's someone in 5 towns, he's doing so well and he's successful, blah, blah, blah. but doesn't have 5 minutes to kind of open up a sefer or to even daven properly or go to shul. He's got a whole team. And he's doing very well. And I'm like, well, I can't say this to him, but okay, good for him. But the Siva Shalom says there's no all the riches in the world. Kohon ba'olam is not worth an hour of yishuv hadaas. It's not worth an hour of yishuv hadaas. Just this past week, I was welcoming some dude from shul. He's here for a bar mitzvah. His grandfather of some kid, and from Cincinnati. He says to me after a minute, he goes, "Are you retired?" And I'm trying to think. I said, "No, I'm not retired. I'm maybe partially retired because I don't work in the morning, I guess. But no, not retired." And okay, well, nice to meet you. And he walks out. I'm thinking, what did he mean by that? Did he mean because the gray, he maybe thinks I'm really retired? Or the fact that I'm kind of hanging around a shul, just talking to people, drinking a coffee with a sefer, this and that. Maybe he just thinks I'm retired because I give up the sense of that I have nowhere to go. And honestly, first few hours of the day, I really have nowhere to go. I don't go biking or, till later, or going to the gym later, whatever. So really in the morning, we've got this sefer, got that sefer, we've got a Gemara Chabura. So maybe I'm semi-retired. So I guess that's kind of what we're trying to say here. If you are not chasing the dollar 24/7 or chasing after a lifestyle, then you do have some yishuv hadaas. And Baruch Hashem, one of the best things, or maybe the best thing that I get now after I travel so much, is you have time to really think and you can't really calibrate yourself. And this is kind of what Paro, Yetzer Hara, was trying to do to us on a daily basis. And the Siva Shalom goes further and says, it's not even a place thing, because you can live in Yerushalayim, live in Beit Shemesh, and be in Gullus. Why? Because you're totally thinking about whether it's nervous of war, whether it's parnasa, whether it's this, a million other things that you're nervous about and takes away from yishuv hadaas. And you could be in Lakewood and have geula. Why? Because you have time to think, you have time to be settled, and that takes you, it calibrates you to think about Hashem. It calibrates you to really think about what's important in life and not have this other things that are taking you away. And that's kind of what the Siva Shalom talks about. We say in Haggadah, Shibud L'Gula, Abdus L'Cheirus, Yagon L'Simcha, because it's not really Abdus that leads us to Geula. There's different types of Abdus. There's different types of ways we are in Gullus. You don't have to be a slave to be in Gullus. Even if you're not a slave, you can really be in Gullus. If you don't have yishuv hadaas, you don't have 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes to kind of sit down and calibrate your day and focus, then you really seriously in Gullus. And that's kind of really what the Siva Shalom talks about. Freeing the person, freeing the mind, really. And this is literally what what Shabbos is for. Shabbos takes away this iron curtain, this iron wall that Siva Shalom talks about, that during the week, or even not during the week, even Shabbos too, unfortunately, we do things that put us farther away from Hashem, Kiviyachol. And it's kind of this iron curtain, this iron barrier. And it's hard to see. Richuk, we feel far from Hashem. And Shabbos is time to fix that. Hopefully, we don't talk about work. We don't talk about things that are kind of hassling us. We don't focus on the war so much. We don't focus on the job so much. Next week I'm going to do this. Next week I'm doing this. You know what? Let's just live in the moment. Let's kind of just focus on what's important. Being with our family, Oneg Shabbos, going to a shir, think about Hashem. And hopefully that will carry over during the week. And that's kind of really what the purpose of Siva Shalom says. Is Shabbos, we take that lesson, we take that clarity, yishuv hadaas, and hopefully it leads us for the week. We add, add atachonen, ladam das, and afterwards we have tshuva, we have parnasa, we have refuah. But the first bakasha we ask Shemona Esrei is das, chon das. Hashem, give me, God, please, give me das. Smartness? No, not smartness per se, but the ability to have clarity of das. Without yishuv hadaas, without really having clarity, it's really either impossible or difficult to have your mido straight, to have Torah straight, to have your life straight, your job straight. Without clarity, you can't do a good job even. Forget about Torah. without yishuv hadaas, nothing really goes well. Too much burden, too much hassle, too much stress. Nothing goes well. And that's kind of what we really daven for Hashem. We daven is chon hadaas. Hashem should give me the ability to have das. And once you kind of have yishuv hadaas, all the other burdens, all the other stresses seem, magically I guess, seem to go away. And that's that. Shabbat shalom.